Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Chats with Chaudhry. I hope you're safe and well. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Surrey, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Kashyaps Bhatt, who is a manager of Pharma GPV at Takeda. And today we are going to be talking about pharmaceutical microbiology because Kashyap is actually speaking at this week's Pharmaceutical Microbiology East Coast conference, which SMI are organizing, which starts this Wednesday and runs till Thursday. And he's going to be talking about inspections, do's and don'ts. But before we start talking about that, we're going to find a little bit more about his thoughts about pharmaceutical microbiology. So, Kashyap, lovely to meet you. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Boston, Massachusetts, specifically Medford. So it's a little bit chilly here right now, but we're getting by even though it's April.
Yeah, well, I heard actually the forecast was a bit mixed, wasn't it? You're going to have snow and then bright sunshine, then it's going to be cold again, then it was going to be a heat wave, I was told by someone in Medford only
Yeah,
last week.
perks of living in the Northeast, my friend. These are continuous problems we have.
Well, okay. Well, look, before we start though, perhaps you could give people not familiar with what your role is, a little bit about your background and what your role encompasses.
Sure. So my background's predominantly I've been in quality. So I've worked in large and small pharma organizations across the spectrum, manufacturing sites to developmental sites. My particular focus was in inspection readiness and, preparing a new facility to come up and, get a drug underway is where my predominant focus has been. So, getting teams ready for inspections, drug approvals, focusing on, validation and things like that. So that's really where I'm coming from.
Fantastic. All right. So let's, first question is really, pharmaceutical microbiology as an industry has matured quite a lot over the last few years. So from your perspective, what are the key developments that you've witnessed over the last year or so?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I guess the biggest development that I've seen is really around EM programs and specifically data collection from EM programs. I've noticed a lot that inspectors are really focusing in on the importance of where the EM data is stored, especially if you're a young and developing site. There's often a tendency to use paper, and inspectors really are focusing on where that paper is going and where it lives after the fact. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So an EM, I'm guessing, stands for environmental monitoring, correct?
Yes, environmental monitoring.
Just for viewers
I should
watching,
have
thinking, no,
clarified.
no, 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 that's fine. But that's why I'm here to ask. So that's cool. All right. And so talking about does that mean that there's more digitalization going on? There's a need for more digitalization than within the lab and the processes?
Yeah, so I think the lab space is already digital. I think the problem that most organizations are having is when the data is collected within the digital space, confirming where that data is being stored within that digital space, and being able to readily grab at it and make sure that it's ready for inspections. Because oftentimes, an inspector can ask, "Hey, where do you keep this?" And a lot of times, what I'm hearing from people is, I'm not, let me get back to you, or I need to check the validation, or I need to check the source documentation. So I think, having that in the forefront of people's mind when they're developing EM programs is very important.
Right. Fantastic. And what do you see as the greatest challenge for you to overcome currently within pharmaceutical microbiology?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to that data collection piece. And as a quality professional, I mean, I'm usually the person that's coaching and mentoring individuals within the manufacturing space and quality control space and educating them where these things should live. And I think having that conversation is kind of where my struggles lay. And I think people are coming around to it. They understand the importance around CFR Part 11 compliance, and I think people are indeed coming around to it. With this pandemic over us, everything's digital nowadays, and inspections are also being held digitally. So I think people are more understanding and more coming around to that idea.
And is there anything that you have to do particularly to help them come round to that idea? I mean, are you having to do something specifically to encourage them to do that?
Yeah, so catering my training approach is really where I'm having to emphasize, the importance of data collection and where that data lives, specifically around, who's getting monitored within the fill suite or manufacturing area and why we're doing it, and then translating that within the into the data stream is really one of the my driving forces right now, and making people understand that, like I said, people are indeed coming around to it because they see that everything's virtual nowadays, and that's where things are going.
Right. Okay. And what are your thoughts in terms of the developing regulatory environment for pharmaceutical microbiology? And, and how is it impacting your role currently?
Yeah, currently within my role, it's having a direct impact on how, again, we're relaying the information to our counterparts within the manufacturing space, and helping them develop and understand that, hey, this is what FDA is coming out and telling us, that you need to pay potential focus around the validation of your data, where it lives within your EM space, and making people understand that it's not as easy as recording it within a paper sheet anymore. You need to understand that, where does that paper sheet live after? How have you validated whatever is on that paper sheet will remain as is? And it's a good source of data. So I guess that's really the number one thing I'm seeing within the regulatory space, is the significant focus around, data collection, and specifically EM, environmental monitoring.
All right, cool. Now you're going to keep saying that every time you say EM. So anyway, let's talk about your presentation this week. So it's inspections, do's and don'ts. So without going through the whole presentation, because we don't want to preempt it, but what can people expect to see from it, and really, why should they be attending your presentation, Nick, this week?
Yeah, that's great, and I'm really excited to present. This is a big passion of mine. So some of the things we're going to be focusing on in my presentation are media fills, how to develop a good media fill, and what's expected by the regulators. Going over what's a part of a good environmental monitoring program. Going over overall inspection readiness, and really focusing on how COVID-19 has impacted how regulators are performing inspections, and really focusing on, what are the regulators expecting from you when they're performing an on-site, when they're performing a virtual inspection.
Right. Okay.
So those are just a few of the tidbits, but I'm really excited to see how many people show up. So it'll be very it's going over a lot of case studies and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about it.
Well, it sounds really interesting, actually, to be honest. So great. Now, one final question. How do you see the market developing, particularly around pharmaceutical microbiology, and what do you think some of the biggest growth areas are going to be, not just for this year, but going forward?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I think with COVID-19 on the forefront of everyone's mind, I think one of the things that is going to, one of the things manufacturing sites are going to continuously look at is how to control how COVID-19 is going to impact their site. So I think developing those kind of testing and tools to make sure that whoever's on site performing activities within the manufacturing space are truly supposed to be there. I know there's already a little bit of things being developed in the pipeline, but I think that's where the market's really going, focusing in on who needs to be on site, why do they need to be on site, and if they have to be on site, are they safe to be on site?
Fantastic. And yeah, you're right. And obviously, heaven forbid there's future pandemics, but now I think this has made people more aware of what situations might arise, and you need to be prepared for the future, don't you?
Exactly. I think planning for the future is always important.
Yes, definitely. Well, look, that's all we've got time for, Kashyap. I appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule to do this first thing in the morning as well. So thank you very much for taking our talk to it. I mean, you're coming over really passionate, and I'm really looking forward to the talk myself, having heard you talk about it. So I wish you a lot of success. Is it Wednesday or Tuesday next week, your presentation? Wednesday or Thursday, sorry, this week, sorry.
Yes, it's Thursday. I believe I'm the last one for the entire 2 days. So I think I'm going to end it up with a bang.
They saved the best till last to wake them all up. If they're
falling asleep,
Fantastic. Well, look, I wish you a lot of success. I hope it goes very, very well for you. Enjoy the rest of the week. I hope the sun does come out and you warm up a bit in Milford today and for the rest of the week. So thanks very much for your time. Take care.
Thank you so much for having me. Look forward to hearing from you again.
Great. And thank you for watching. I hope you found it really interesting. If you want to know more about the presentation, then check out the presentation if you're attending the event this week. And if you're not attending, then if you've got any questions for Kashyap, please leave them below the video, and I'm sure we'll be more than happy to answer them for you. So until next time, as always, stay well and stay safe. Bye-bye.